Hello everybody! Welcome back to Nuke Shot Media and round 1 of the NES North America Tour here at the Daytona Road Course. I am of course your commentator Nuke Shot Zokyo. We're a week later than originally scheduled, unfortunately due to Gran Turismo 7 servers playing up right at the time that the race was supposed to be last week. But we're here now, and we're doing this race before we go on our winter break and then resuming in January. So we'll see you in 2024 after that, or after this rather. We've got a very decent turnout here. We've got 12 cars on circuit, got a decent mix in the categories as well. We only had 2 Group 4 cars last time. I think we've got about 5 this time. As I'm gonna get all the scheduling stuff up, because professionalism as expected here on the Nuke Shot Media YouTube channel. Okay, Group 4 qualifying is scheduled to start in about 3 minutes, but we'll run through who's here today. We've got Houdini, as you can see, they were there at the preview event. Their Colour Shift Blue Martini Racing Team car. We've also got Mauro, who has seemed to have caused an incident at turn 2, was that? It's sort of in between turns 1 and 2, but they're here anyway. We've got Taters with some very classy rims on that Genesis, the number 98 of Team Taters. The exact colour code that he requested. There. Seems to have also been very similar, if not the exact same, as... Oh dear, there's contact, fantastic. No one saw that! No one saw that! GTO is here, once again in the Lexus. Good to see him back, representing the green team, of course, Nuke Shot Motorsport. Dominic Kubinski here in the Ford GT again as well, another TSR entry. Myth is here once again, number 37 in the Viper. He mentioned that this should be a bit of a better circuit for both him and the car this time around compared to Interlagos for the preview, so we'll see how that goes for him. Mihai, his teammate, is also here, another Lexus. Should be a good showing for Mihai. We've got a Group 4 here. This is the car of Lugi, the Mazda 3. We'll see how he does. Another Mazda 3 here is John Wandering. Great seeing fan favourite John Wandering back once again, and he's already put in the chat that nobody cares. Thanks again for the encouragement. I think we've got some shuffling around. Yeah, because Poctavian's here now. In a Peugeot RCZ, another TSR car. TSR have 2 cars in the Group 4 category, the other being that of Joe of the Fire, who is sat in the pits at the moment. That is an Audi TT. And Zephonius, I'm going to assume that's how that's pronounced, I'm probably mistaken. I believe they're in a Renault Megane, and they are competing here as well, so nice seeing them on their debut. So we're about 1 minute away from the start of qualifying for the Group 4 category. I'll do my race directory part now. We're going to be doing the normal 2 minutes for the setups to be reapplied, and from there there'll be 5 minutes of actual running on circuit. hopefully. I mean, most of all are driving around the circuit at the moment. I say that there's like 3 of the category in the pits at the moment. That's less than ideal. Currently at 7 viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're looking forward to this. Loogie didn't realise setups were on. Is he serious? Oh dear. I was in the team chat helping out with the setup stuff for our Lexus, you see, GTO, and I would have thought that he was literally around when that was happening, so I don't know how he's not thought that one through. I don't know. No one reads anything anyway. Yeah, as Myth says, great. Okay, so at least one car is ready for this. I don't believe Daniel's on his way. We should be okay to start. So we're gonna do the lobby reset. John Wandering in chat saying he doesn't have a setup because it's his first time driving the car on this circuit. That's always reassuring to know that everyone's all prepared. This is definitely not what we have pre-season for. Up to 8 viewers currently. Thanks again for tuning in. Joe is, or should be, getting ready to do the reset. Please. Is anybody out there? I suppose I can use this time to mention that our unofficial sponsor for this event today is Ryanair Overseas. That was FRL links that I think it was FRL. That's supposed to be the name. It was links anyway that came up with that one. So credit to links. Let's hope that everyone's doing as they should do. Dominic Kubinski has joined back. Hello to Mika in the chat. Been a while since we've seen you around. Nice seeing you here. Hope you're looking forward to this. It's definitely a very professional operation we're running here. We're up to 10 viewers thanks to you. So as soon as this clock reaches 2 minutes, that is when we're going to get this underway. I think there's one car that isn't actually... Okay. I was going to say on circuit, but there they are now. So I'm going to get the timer going here. So we've got 5 cars in the Group 4 category. Let us know who you think is going to get pole position in the chat. Someone has left the pits early. Okay, there we go. So a long lap here at the Daytona road course. So not many chances to set a lap. So it's actually going to be either 1 or 2 shot qualifying here, I think. Right, did I get my keyboard set up? I did! Good stuff, I actually plugged it in. So we've got Joe of the Fire, many-time Nuke Shot Endurance Series event champion. In the Audi TT, of course. Should be a competitive one. Teammate Poctavian, different car though, it's a Peugeot RCZ. All of the Group 4 cars are front-wheel drive, should note, that is the part of the regulations. We've got the Green Machine of Lugi, or the Nuke Shot Motorsport cars, only one in this category. Number 47, making his way onto the banking. We've got Zephonius in sort of white and blue, almost sort of Need for Speed BMW M3 looking Renault Megane. And we've got John Mondrin with a different aero package, it seems. He's gone for a small rear wing. We're going to see if that plays much of a part. It shouldn't do officially with settings and stuff, but it's fun to think. Joe of the Fire taking the high line, trying to use and gather up as much speed as he can, and making his way towards the start-finish line. We're going to go on board with Joe for a lap here of the Daytona International Raceway? Daytona International Speedway road course, that's the one. Making our way towards turn 1, very tricky, especially with the tailwind as you've got at the moment. Very bumpy, you want to go to as close to the inside as possible. The further outside you go, the more bumps there are. With that little chicane flick, and towards the International Horseshoe. Again, want to keep it nice and tucked in on the inside. Nice wide exit. Are allowed to do that line and go past the white lines on there. That has been clarified in the rules, as was for the last series we did, the Intercontinental Tour. Now for the Western Horseshoe, a little bit trickier, I'd say, in order to set up the exit, not to understeer off into the grass. And then the corner that leads us back onto the banking. It is indeed multi-class Mika. Exciting times with regional specific Group 3 and a front-wheel drive Group 4 is what we're doing here. Onto the banking. Joe staying nice and low, minimizing the corner radius. That's what you want to be doing in this particular kind of racing, less so with NASCAR. Braking for the Le Mans chicane. Nicely done by Joe, maximising the legal track limit there, and onto the banking once again. Speedway turn 3, and the exit being Speedway turn 4. We've got just over a minute left to go in this session, so I think it's going to be 2-shot qualifying. Let's see what the time is going to be for Joe of the Fire as he approaches the tri-oval. It's a 153.694 for Joe, 155.661 for Poctavian, 153.905 for Lugi, that puts them second. Zephonius goes third, 154.777. And John Wandering about to cross the line. Got himself a nice bit of clear air. And it's going to be a 158.7 on this occasion. There it is, we've reached 5 minutes on the official clock because we had the 2 minutes for setup application. Joe of the Fire, currently our pole sitter, going a little bit faster once again in the Audi TT towards the Le Mans chicane, formerly the bus stop. Nicely done by Joe. Onto the banking once again. Will it be an improvement? It seems he lost a bit of time compared to his previous lap. These Group 4 front-wheel drive cars do burn through their front tyres very fast, as expected. And towards the start-finish line, Joe goes. Will it be an improvement? I don't think it will. It's a 53.7. Next on the road is Poctavian. Poctavian improves to third place, 154.6, as Lugi goes top of the timing sheets. That's a 153.543. Zephonius crosses the line, no improvement on that particular occasion. And John Wandering making his way around Speedway Turn 4 and towards the Tri-Oval. Is it going to be an improvement this time for John Wandering? Not quite. It's a 159.398. And that concludes Group 4 qualifying. There are your results. As I'm sure Joe may have took a screenshot already then. Hopefully. We're going to reset for the Group 3 qualifying. I don't know if he does 2 resets each time or not. I don't think so this time. I think he might have done last time. There shouldn't be any need if he's done a setting that doesn't alter anything. Okay, I think Houdini's just doing the setup check thing, where you drive out on circuit and then reset to the pits. As Zephonius is still on circuit. And as soon as the timer gets to 2 minutes once again, Reset to pits. And here we go. Group 3 qualifying is green. A few more cars this time. Let us know your predictions for who gets the Group 3 pole position. To anyone who said Loogie for Group 4 pole, and congratulations, I suppose. You win nothing, because we don't have prizes on this channel. We are currently watching Mihai going out of the pits, he did say. It's currently Myth that is the first car on the road. We've seen some fantastic activity in the chat. Hello to LJ as well. Good seeing you here. And Emilio Flores, I believe that is Emilius. If not, then my apologies. See some of the flames coming out the exhaust there of the Dodge Viper. So we've got Taters as well, making a bit of space for Houdini. Just trying to get themselves into a bit of clear air, it seems. Although slipstreaming with teammates could be an effective tactic. Plenty of cars close together here. Mauro on the high side in the Acura NSX, as it is badged here in the United States. Dominic Kubinski making their way by in the Ford GT, the older version of that car. Oh, some sparks being thrown up. I don't know if that was the car bottoming out or the bit of contact with the wall, but nevertheless they're there, making their way towards the start-finish line. To start the lap goes Mythical Triangle, braking heavily into turn 1. He seems to have outbroke himself a little bit, but gathers it back up. Make sure he doesn't go on the grass on the outside. For the International Horseshoe, nicely done, uses that bit of extra exit room. Through the kink and towards the Western Horseshoe. See the brake disc glowing on the Viper. The sun's already set quite significantly for this particular session. Now making their way towards the banking once again. Let's check in on some of the other cars. There's Houdini closely behind. 2 minutes left in the session. GTO as well. And Taters. Mihai as well, all getting close to the wall again. More cars taking risks. Dominic here as well, and Mauro with plenty of clear air in that Acura. Towards the Le Mans chicane, there goes Myth. Great camera work once again by Jack Wilkinson. We expect nothing less. Onto the banking for Speedway turn 3. Look at the sparks being thrown up by that Viper. It's partly a bit of netcode there, but nothing overly major. Towards the start-finish line, with just over a minute left on the clock. What's the time going to be? 1:48.575 for Myth. Houdini goes top with a 1:45.856. GTO goes third, now down to fourth, as Dominic Kubinski goes second, and it's actually Taters that is at the top of the timing sheets at the moment. Mauro goes fourth, Mihai is sixth, Dominic Kubinski second, Houdini third, Mauro fourth. But after the first round of laps, it is Taters that is currently at the top of the timing sheets, as I need to get ready for the call of the checkered flag once again. don't believe anyone's going to be close to the line by the time this gets called. And 7 minutes, that is the 2 for the setups plus the 5 of actual running. Taters making their way towards the Le Mans chicane, and it's going to be Myth crossing the line once again. They are improving quite significantly, 0.6 of a second, and I wonder if Houdini's going to be improving as well, given they close to slipstream range, though at a distance. There's some apologising going off in the chat meanwhile. Myth comes towards the line. It is an improvement, they go to 6th place. As a Houdini, no improvement on that occasion. Here comes Mauro. This could be a good time for Mauro. They go 2nd and within a 10th of Taters, who didn't improve on that particular lap. Dominic, no improvement that time either. And I think it's just Mihai to go, but they're not on a representative lap at all. And it is going to be Rounded Potato, our good friend Taters, on the pole position then, by just under a 10th of a second. That is indeed back-to-back polls for Taters. He's just put in the Discord chat. That is fantastic stuff. All cars to the track. Joe will be doing the order. Well, that was a very intriguing qualifying session. Our 2 pole sitters, Lugi for Nukeshot Motorsport in Group 4, and Taters for Team Taters in Group 3. I'm going to fully put that down to the green rims that he's running. As you can see, they stand out magnificently. Fantastic action in chat again as well. Yes, indeed, big up Jack Wilkinson on the cam. Lugi in chat as well. One of our pole sitters. Once again, this race is unofficially brought to you by Ryanair Overseas. Thanks to Lynx, employee of Ryanair, or that one. It's the grid being ordered by Mr. Of the Fire, our lobby host. I'm not going to repeat that one on stream, Mika, but that is quite funny. I'm going to actually have a drink. This is a shandy, a semi-alcoholic beverage here on the Nuke Shop Media YouTube channel. Good stuff. For the uneducated, that is a mix of beer and lemonade. Mika's in... that's just how I pronounce Mika Wolfson's name in chat. Called him a dimwit. That's outrageous. Okay, it looks somewhat like the grid's ordered now. We might be seeing some night running towards the end of this, so that's another factor to look into this particular race. No chance of weather, because as we know in this game, it does not rain in the United States. Gonna put the signal out asking if everyone's ready. Getting a message via DM. Someone's asking for setup help at the moment. I can't exactly do that at this stage. Thankfully, it seems things are running a bit smoother than they were last week when we attempted this race. Mass drought in the entire North and South America continents, indeed. Sad times. If you'd like to donate to me, not any of these other causes, then feel free to do so. Now, has Joe put in the chat that he's ready? He hasn't. Bother. It looks like the grid's set, but he hasn't given me any confirmation in the chat, so I can't do anything at the moment. Anyway, 40-minute race. We've converted it into laps, so it's going to be 22 laps here today. Let us know your picks in both categories for the race win, and who you're just generally supporting for this particular race. This is, of course, round 1 of the season of the NES North America Tour. 5 rounds in total. It's the first one for points. Because, of course, we had the preview a couple weeks back. And it's not too late to enter. We still are accepting entries for any of those that may be interested. There should be a link to our Discord server in the description. That's the one thing that is there, as opposed to a donate link. I don't know whether the link in the description works, other than if you copy and paste it. It's not actually a clickable link, which sucks. Oh well. It would be great to see you back, Mika, if you were to come back. I know that you do have other commitments. Here we go then. We're about to get racing underway. No formation lap or any of that stuff for this series. We're going to be racing shortly for the NES North America Tour Round 1 at the Daytona road course. There you see Taylor's on pole position. Mauro lining up alongside in the Acura. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm gonna call a red flag for that. Yeah, that wasn't ideal. I knew something would happen sooner or later. It happens, it happens. Okay, this one again. It seemed to start up again once Dominic Kubinski, the first to disconnect, left. So I'm guessing it was something on Dominic's end. Hopefully he's getting stuff sorted. I'm gonna see if I can message him on Discord, see if he's gonna be around. But John Wandering, who also left, they're back now, so that's something. Mika saying he might actually join up for the next round. It would be fantastic seeing you here. We do have one full-time spot left, technically speaking, because we do have a reserve there, but it's a bit of a tricky scheduling thing. But yes, that's in the Group 4 category, so bit easier to jump into, I suppose, than Group 3 machinery straight away. All of them are, of course, the Group 4s, that is. Front-wheel drive for this particular championship, so like a TCR pseudo thing. Dominic hasn't responded so far. Oh! There we go! When are they going to give us a Civic Group 4? That would be a fantastic addition to the game. Sort of like an actual TCR style Civic. We did recently get the newest Honda Civic road car added to the game, so that's something. You can turn it into roughly the same performance as these Group 4 cars, you just can't give it a racing fuel tank, is the main issue. Now, again, I think I've said it before on the channel, having a racing fuel tank upgrade would be a fantastic addition to the game. Okay, so I think everyone's on circuit. Why is Houdini saying hello and atting me in caps lock? Oh, okay, Taylor's is making a real life pit stop. So we wait for now. Mihai says he's crashing, and I'm not going to read the second part of that. Bruh. Oh, apparently Myth was in reverse at the start. For that first start. I have no idea why. He's probably just trying to get the car to move when the thing was glitched. Oh well. So I think we're pretty much just waiting for Taters at this point. That seems to be what's going on. Apologies for the slight delays. This is still the Nukeshot Endurance Series North America Tour, Round 1 at the Daytona Road Course. Be sure to leave a like if you're enjoying the delays, and even if you're not enjoying the delays, leave a like. Consider subscribing for the rest of the season and future projects on the channel. and all the other stuff that we say. Again, thanks to our event sponsor Ryanair Overseas, unofficially. Oh, why is Houdini asking about post-race interviews? The race hasn't even started. Deal with stuff when we get to it. Everyone should be in the right place on the grid again. Thanks again to Joe for helping with all of this stuff. We're not going to have a second red flag if someone disconnects. That's what I'll say to this now. Only if the grid is completely frozen again, which hopefully it won't be. Here we go again then. Let's start building the hype once again. Let us know your picks in the chat, who you're supporting and all that other stuff. The NES North America Tour Round 1 at the Daytona Road Course shall be, hopefully, this time, getting underway shortly. This is concerningly long once again. Yeah, this, Right, okay, I think red flag new lobby for this case. Oh wait, things have started now? Are you serious, game? Oh, pfft. Why does this keep happening? And there's all sorts of chaos going off. Well, oh, the host has ended the game. Okay, there we go. Welcome back to behind the scenes of the Nuke Shot Endurance series. Okay, Lugi's telling me he had to restart GT7. Yeah, I did say no red flag unless everyone was stuck once again. But that's just really just unfortunate stuff. Joe will be getting the new lobby up shortly. Hello to Matthias. This is a fantastic time to be joining the stream. Thanks to all 12 of you for putting up with this so far. Things will get better. Hopefully. Again, if you want to check out the series when it's working at its best, be sure to join the Discord, which is linked in the description. I think it's a copy and paste thing, unfortunately, but that should be a link to it. And I'm getting angry DMs from Houdini once again. No surprises there. Let's see if the new lobby is going to be up. Oh no, don't tell me it's doing the thing that it did a week ago, where it's just really slow at updating stuff. Okay, there we go. So there were 12 cars on circuit. Right, should still be the same grid order once everyone's joined back, of course. We're currently at 181 subscribers, which is fantastic stuff. If you want to join the subscriber count, be sure to click the, is it red? The button? I think, well, it at least used to be a case of the button was red and clicking it turned it grey. Like and subscribe, people. That's what you need to know. things will get better. So I think... How many's here at the moment? So 9 on track, 10, 11. Is it just Loogie, I think, that we're waiting for? Perhaps. And Loogie's just joined, okay. After the reset of console. Oh, it's white now, is it? The subscribe button. So, like and subscribe for more Career Mode Plus. That's a reference and a half. All cars to the track. Most of them are. Loogie's still loading in. Okay, there we go. Now, let's hope this time it works. There you see a selection of liveries, I suppose. That's something to look out for throughout the race. Bright, colourful grid. Joe is currently in the process of setting the grid, of course. Thanks again to Joe. Oh, what on earth's going off here? What's happening? It's the NSR cars. And they're just ramming into each other. Alright. Well, I suppose this is expected. Not of the team, but just of the series at the moment. Whenever we have these sorts of technical issues. A demolition derby does tend to break out as someone is trying to race legitimately and nearly gets wiped out. Interesting stuff, and here we see a Houdini Myers in his natural habitat at the side of the circuit. That'll annoy him. Okay, this time, if things don't work, then I have no idea. Just start it up. Don't even wait for everyone to say ready at this point. Here we go then. Take 3, well technically take 4 because of last week. One day we'll get this race underway. Let's hope that day is today. I nearly accidentally exited entirely. Here we go then. For this particular time, this is the first take. Here we are then, the NES North America Tour, round 1 at the Daytona road course. Ah, the lights are coming on! We're finally gonna get racing underway here at Daytona. We are green, 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 and the cars are off. And a fantastic start by Dominic Kubinski sees them get the lead off the line. 3 wide momentarily. It's a TSR 1-2, Mauro into second. Houdini's looking around the outside for third. Tater's dropping back. They're currently in third. And the Group 4 cars dropping back from the rest of the pack, of course. That's expected. So it is Dominic Kubinski that leads us, going to the infield, followed by Mauro and Tater's. Houdini looking to make a move on the inside, perhaps not quite. Side by side with the 2 NSR cars. That's allowing GTO to maybe make its way through. I think Mihai may have got held up a bit and has dropped down to 7th place. Loogie leads the Group 4 category, followed very closely by Joe of the Fire for TSR, and another TSR car, that is Poctavian, in 3rd. Zephonius and John Wandering 4th and 5th in that category, but we're making our way towards the banking, going back onto it for the first racing lap. Dominic Kubinski in the 4GT, that particular one, the older car, very strong on the straights and seemingly able to gap Mauro a bit. Even though Mauro has the addition of Slipstream, Taylor's in third. Not an ideal start for him. Seemed to have misjudged the start a little bit. Dominik Kubinski absolutely nailed the launch off the line, making their way through. And that seemed to get very close between Taylor's and Mauro. Taylor's going to the inside and gets past. Now Mauro tucks back into the Slipstream. Will they be able to get a run with the momentum? It looks like they are going to. Bit of a tailwind. Bit of nudging going off as well. I should note bump drafting isn't legal. I don't think that's necessarily the intention at the moment. But looking to the inside, Mauro and Taylor's. I think Taylor's may have ran a little bit deep going into turn one. Taylor's has done. They run side by side going back to the infield. Little bit of onion barges between the two of them. Mauro trying to go around the outside of the International Horseshoe. Bit of a slide for the Acura. Still side by side they run. Mauro will have the inside for the King. Taylor's able to hold on to the outside line. Will be the inside, and they do get ahead, but Mauro dives to the inside for the Western Horseshoe. Do they get this one to stick? It seems like it. Won't have much time to break the Slipstream again. Looking to the inside again goes Taylor's. Not quite on this occasion. This is allowing Houdini to catch up and Dominik to run away with it a bit. Myth is up to 5th place at this particular stage. GTO 6th. Mihai in 7th. Joe with the Fire, meanwhile, up into the lead of the Group 4 category. We're going to see if we can catch what happened here. Unfortunately, it may have happened a bit earlier in the lap, but there you see Lugi still close behind. Joe with the Fire leading the Group 4 cars. Lugi for Nookshot Motorsport close behind in the Slipstream. And Poctavian as well in the Peugeot RCZ. Sophonius and John wandering 4th and 5th in category at this as it stands. But look at this, 1.4 seconds the gap that Dominik Kubinski has over 2nd place. The top 4 seem to have separated themselves a bit. I think Taylor's might be far enough ahead to keep the position going into turn 1 this time. Yep, nicely done. The green rims definitely helping out. More plasma dynamic technology that they're getting from Nookshot Motorsport, of course. Low drag, high downforce. Don't ask about the details of how that works. Mauro in the Acura, still close. Still in slipstream range. They've managed to gap Houdini a little bit. 1.3 seconds is the gap there. Dominik Kubinski leading the Group 3 class. And I think that gap's coming down a bit, actually. So Dominik losing a bit of pace through the infield. They currently hold the fastest lap and they're going purple again. But it's really the straights that the 4GT seems to excel at here. And it seems that that's the version of the car without the front canards. So it's the extra low downforce spec. Of course you can have a Nookshot backed car, Mika. That's perfectly fine. It can even be your favourite orange colour. With Fanta sponsorship. Or anything, honestly. There's going to be green somewhere. That's the one compromise. Mauro, 8/10ths back from Taylor's, who is in turn 1.3 back from Dominik. Houdini in 4th. I think starting to spread out just a little bit. 5th place, Myth, doing a really good job. That Viper does seem very well suited to the circuit at the minute. They're also on mediums, interestingly enough. That might explain why they've dropped back a little bit. GTO on softs, using those tyres up. Oh, actually, that's softs on the fronts and mediums on the rear. That is an odd combination. You won't be able to keep that particular tyre setup when it gets to pit stops. But that's an interesting call there by GTO of Nookshot Motorsport. As Myth goes wide, and GTO nearly follows him. A slide as well from Mihai. Side by side they run, and the Nookshot car goes into 5th place. And it looks like Mihai's getting a run on their teammates side by side with the NSR cars. To the outside looks Mihai, going for a bit of a cutback. Mihai on the mediums themselves. That seems to be the tactic of the North Star Racing team. Going back onto the banking. GTO, as there's a bit of a slide there, will have a bit of an advantage, but still not able to break slipstream. Mihai right there, both in the Lexus, so equal machinery, as Nico Rosberg would say. Look at the camera work by Jack Wilkinson. Big up. Coming towards the Le Mans chicane. It looks like Mihai's going to be just about alongside. That's close. It's very close. GTO just about holds on. Great racing as Myth slides his way in the slippery snake that is the Dodge Viper. Checking some of the other gaps. They don't seem to have changed too much. We're going to check in here for the Group 4 category. There's a battle for the lead. Joe of the Fire being followed very closely. The tyres have worn very significantly for Luigi at this stage. Joe is able to keep their tyres in much better check, it would seem. Luigi with the slipstream though. We're going to go rear wing cam on Joe of the Fire's Audi TT. There goes Luigi looking to the outside, going into the tri-oval, back to the off-board shots. Side by side they run. Joe will have the inside. The front tyres. Oh no, Joe's overcooked it. Joe has overcooked it. And Luigi goes into the lead of the Group 4 category. These top two have broken away a bit from Poctavian, who is currently in third place. Fourth place is Zephonius in the Renault. Not too far behind is John Wandering. Dominic Kubinski still our race leader as things stand. Tater's not too far behind. Same with Maro and Houdini, all within camera shot pretty much. GTO maintaining 5th. Myth has got up to 6th, so something's happened with Mihai. Oh, it seemed they may have made a mistake. It's sliding a lot going onto the banking. Going through the Le Mans chicane. They're hoping to regain their rhythm. The slightly clearer air after you've dropped back will help with that a bit. Bring the temperatures down a little. That's car number 29, my secondary number. Very good choice. Dominic Kubinski is being caught by Taters here. Now I'm wondering if the relatively low drag but low downforce for GT is being a bit harsher on its tyres compared to the Genesis. That theory's gone out the window. It seems the Genesis has got a little bit worse tyre wear. But it is closing in. It was a 145.3 last time around for Taters. 145.7 for Dominic Kubinski. And Taters is getting closer and closer to that slipstream range. That juicy slipstream. If you're enjoying the live stream so far, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season. Link to the Discord is in the description. And thanks again, unofficially, to Ryanair Overseas for the sponsorship of Round 1 here at the Daytona Road Course. Interesting, a 5.2 meter per second headwind as they make their way towards the Le Mans chicane. That's going to amplify slipstream through that section and extend it a bit further back, and that is playing into the hands of Taters here. Going on to Speedway Turn 3. We're going to probably be expecting pit stops not too long from now. That rear right on the Genesis seemingly taking a pounding. There's some stuff going off in chat at the moment, the lobby chat. Gonna quickly deal with this. As oh, that's Mauro that we've just caught doing a spin 360. Not quite the no-scope. Here it was. Just seemed to get the International Horseshoe wrong. Look at that, the oversteer in the Acura. But very good recovery to get that loop back around. Because the rear tyres are indeed taking a massive hit compared to the fronts. That's been a bit of a tricky thing with the Acura. Dominic Kubinski holds the lead. That gap seems to have stabilised at around 9/10 of a second. Taters is still in second. Houdini in third has dropped back a little bit, but has an advantage over Mauro at this point. GTO in fifth, Myth in sixth, and Mihai holding on to seventh. Back to the battle here in Group 4. It seems that Lugi has lost a significant amount of time, and they made a pit stop. Okay, so Lugi and John Wandering, both of the Mazdas, interestingly, going into the pits. I was told that the Mazdas were really, really good on tyre wear. Evidently not in comparison to some of the other cars. Hard tyres for John Wandering on this occasion. I think it was mediums for Lugi. We're going to see if this undercut has an effect. Joe on really worn front tyres, as expected. It's a shame that you can't do a front tyre change only in this. It's always all four, because those rear tyres are in perfect condition still. Through the Le Mans chicane, nicely done by Joe. There will be manual track limits being reviewed for that particular section, just to make sure people aren't cutting it. But it's a TSR 1-2 as it stands. Oh, Poctavian! Poctavian's tyres are completely gone, and the car is bouncing around like it's got a puncture. Surely they're going to be into the pits soon. Joe goes into the pits. Poctavian surely soon to follow. Indeed they do so. Here is Joe and the blue TSR pit crew on this occasion. Going down the order. It seems that Mihai is sliding about a little bit as the order changes around. Zephonius on the mediums, that strategy seems to have gone well. They're currently in the lead of class. Lugi making their way towards turn 1. Where will Joe rejoin in relation to them? It's going to be close. I think Joe's going to have an advantage. Yep, Joe retaking the lead. There is Lugi as Taters pits from second place. And Poctavian rejoins in 11th overall. I believe that's 4th in the category. The bright green wheels on the Team Taters wagon awaiting the car, and Mauro also coming into the pits shortly as well. Taters comes to the stop. Myth and Mihai both into the pits as well. They're on the mediums at the moment. There are no mandatory tyre rules, like no tyre compound that you have to run, as on the rejoin GTO goes ahead of Taters. Now GTO hasn't made a stop yet, but if they're able to save a pit stop by going to the halfway point, that could potentially be for position. Going to be difficult to keep Taters behind though on these particular tyres. Myth service being done well by the North Star Racing pit crew and the teammate as well. Fueling up the car. That's less than ideal. You're going to be carrying around more fuel weight. You're also losing a bit of track position from doing that. Dominic Kubinski, are they going to be jumped in the pit sequence? They've currently got a 6-second gap over Houdini. So it is a Ford GT 1-2 as it stands. Houdini on the medium tyres. That strategy could work out quite well for him. Taters is the first of the cars that have made a pit stop though, and has indeed got past GTO. I doubt that would have been much of a contest given the tyres. Dominic Kubinski does go into the pits, and the pit crew awaits That puts Houdini temporarily into the lead. They've ran wide at turn 1. The tailwind has picked up at 6.1 meters a second going into turn 1. It's a headwind for the back straight, which helps slipstreaming. But the tailwind increasing for turn 1, really catching some drivers out here. Tyres being changed on the Ford GT. Now, where is Taters? There is Taters. And where can we expect to see Dominic rejoin? Mihai has had to retire, unfortunately. Dominic rejoins behind GTO. Got to get past GTO quickly. And it looks like they are doing side by side. A little bit on the grass. Dominic will have the inside line for the kink. GTO probably best not to fight that particular battle. And they do indeed back off in the end of things, holding up a little bit, but continuing on. Mauro on the mediums, hoping for better tyre life in this second stint. 6th place at the moment is Myth, with of course Mihai retiring, as unfortunately is that situation. Just seeing Mihai is in the chat, unfortunately. You can deal with things post-race. You can submit an incident report and stuff if you want. You can DM me. At the moment, though, in the Group 4 category, Joe of the Fire leads. As Zephonius goes into the pits, they are going to try a one-stop here, I think. It is Lugi in 2nd, Octavian 3rd, Zephonius in 4th. Those mediums have definitely taken a beating through here, making that pit stop. And we're coming up to the point where there's going to be traffic for the Group 3 cars to negotiate. We're coming up to Lappery. Some of them I think may have already lapped John Wandering, who is on the hards. And John Wandering might be trying a no-stop strategy here. Looking at this. Interesting stuff. Or they may have made a pit stop on lap 6. I can't quite tell. At the moment it is Houdini on very worn mediums. Probably pitting this lap. You're sort of forced to do at least one pit stop due to the fuel consumption. At least in the Group 3 category. Group 4, because it will be a reduced amount of laps because of lappery and such. In theory, a little bit more possible. Oh, massive slide through the Le Mans chicane for the Ford GT. Coming up on some traffic, I think that is the Mazda 3 of Lugi up ahead. On board with the Ford. Unintentional rhyming. I think there's actually some battling going off somewhere. Or it's more lappery. Here it is, it was more lappery. Zephonius being overtaken by Taters. Nicely done. Into the pits. Awaiting the tyre change, they managed to make it to halfway. Taters will retake the lead of the race. Will they have to make one more pit stop though towards the end of this? They are on softs. And the tyres already worn a little bit. GTO into the pits as well. Both of them on the same strategy it seems then. Houdini with the service. Fueling up. They were on mediums. They're going for racing softs for this stint. Okay. Interesting call. GTO in the pits. As oh, this side by side it seems with Houdini and Mauro on the pit exit. Apologies, I just missed that. I'm gonna get that on replay, I think, if I can. Come on, there we go. There it is, the Acura down the inside of the International Horseshoe, outbroke itself. Houdini back up the inside. And now, will they be able to pull away? Mauro is on the mediums at the moment, trying to make them last. They are in slipstream range, but the Ford GT has a lot of straight line speed anyway, so it's going to be difficult to stay there. And indeed the Ford's starting to get the gap back up. Myth is up into 5th place. Sliding a little bit, it seems. GTO very close behind, but has dropped back behind Myth after that pit stop. Going back to the Group 4 category, Joe of the Fire with a 3.9 second lead over Loogie, who is on the mediums. Octavian currently in 3rd, a little bit further back, was recently lapped by Taters. You see the blue flag warnings. That's not to get out of the way, that's just an indicator that the faster class is coming through. Sophonius trying to make the one stop work in some relatively clear air by themselves so they can settle into this stint. And John Wandering about to be overtaken by both of these competing Group 3 cars. 3 wide, multi-class, going down towards turn 1, and Myth trying to hold on to it. GTO, have they outbroke themselves? Not quite. They hold on to it, and that is GTO making the pass. Here we see it again then. GTO and Mythical Triangle towards turn 1. GTO on the fresher tyres, very late on the brakes in that Lexus, able to get the move to stick. Taters, after pretty much everyone's completed their pit sequence by now, has a 4.5 second gap and has a little bit of slipstream help from the similarly green nuke shot car of Loogie, matching the rims on Tater's machine. And in turn, Loogie gets a little bit of slipstream help there. Hashtag not rigged. Dominic Kubinski is currently in 2nd place. They're on mediums at the moment, trying to get them to go to the end. Houdini on softs. They started on mediums, going for softs now. They'll be looking to make up a bit of time and hope that the tyres don't wear out towards the end of this. Maro currently in 4th, also on the mediums, like the other TSR car at this stage. GTO in 5th, has a 20-second gap to Mauro ahead, has a 1-second gap to Myth behind. Myth on the softs at this stage. As is GTO actually, but Myth softs a bit older. Definitely one more stop for Myth to do, it seems. More lappery going off. That is our 2 category leaders. The whole Group 4 field now a lap down from race leader Taters. Joe of the Fire doing a very good job. 5.2 seconds the gap between them and 2nd place Loogie. Loogie on the mediums, those mediums looking very cooked. They're probably going to be making a pit stop at some point in the near future. Poctavian perhaps making a stop even earlier though, because they're on the softs. Houdini goes by into the Le Mans chicane once more. Nicely done. And there's Maro as well, going into Speedway turn 3. A little bit of slipstream. There you see the similar pattern design of the TSR cars. 4 cars in total in this series. 2 in each category. Thanks to them for supplying cars to the grid. As the lights are coming on here for some of the cars, we're getting into evening running at the Daytona road course. Is a brake bias configuration on? Yes, all tuning is allowed in this. Fully custom setups. Or some are running stock just because out of necessity, I suppose, but we do allow custom setups. John Wandering currently in 11th, trying to make the no stop work. It seems they can do it on fuel. Probably can do it on tyres as well. But it's going to rely on some of the other cars dropping back significantly, I think. Zephanius currently 10th overall, 4th in the Group 4 category. As we see the battle for 5th overall and 5th in the Group 3 category, heating up once again. Myth staying within range of GTO, that's a 1 second gap. GTO running wide a little bit, going onto the banking. Side by side they run, and there is Myth, not too far behind. We'll have a little bit more of a slipstream benefit off of the Renault again. Our race leader into the pits once again. This will be their final stop. Myth negotiates the lap traffic. The tyre wear settings are actually quite high regardless of the brake bias and such. It's around ×6. It's ×6 for tyres, and I think ×2 for fuel. Something around that. So Dominic Kubinski retakes the lead, and they're hoping to go to the end anyway on their current tyres. New green rims, freshly painted by Nukeshot Plasma Dynamics on the Team Taters car. And Taters rejoins the circuit. They are going to be in 4th place. Myth, meanwhile, on the softs, they are coming into the pits for North Star Racing. They'll be making their way shortly. Hey, look, there's 2 Jack Wilkinsons behind the pit wall. What's going on there? There's 3 of them. Ah! They're multiplying. Someone's cloning Jack Wilkinson and placing him everywhere. If you're enjoying the live stream, be sure to leave a like. Consider subscribing for the rest of the season. And again, check out the Discord, which is linked in the description. It might be a copy and paste thing, because link's not working. But still, everyone's welcome in the community. By me, at least. There may be others that are hostile. I can't promise there won't be. But through the pit stops then, which I think Joe may have recently made, yep. Lugi has retaken the lead in category for the Group 4 class. But they're going to be into the pits shortly, I think. They seem to be indicating a little bit. Yep, into the pits goes Lugi. Hey look, we've got a green pit box as well. Green and yellow. Amazing how these things work out. There's the multiple Jack Wilkinsons once again on the cam. So Lugi might try and go for the softs here for the final stint, see if they can push a bit. It's going to be difficult. It depends on how well they're able to maintain it, as the track temperatures will keep going down. Look at the sky here at the Daytona International Speedway. Fantastic scenes. And I believe the Ferris wheel has potentially just started lighting up. We might be able to see a camera angle of that soon. There it is in the background. So yep, track temperatures will be going down. That means the air is also going to get denser as it gets colder. So a bit more downforce generated by these cars. Slightly better performance as well from the engines with the thicker air. We're expecting it to also favour the turbocharged cars in particular. So Lugi rejoins in 2nd place, I think that is, as Zephanius has actually got ahead of Poctavian using this one-stop strategy, and they're actually really close behind Lugi themselves. So Zephanius up into 3rd place on their NES debut. Going to see if Poctavian, who has recently pitted for brand new racing softs, will be able to get that 8.2 second gap down. John Wandering still currently 5th place at the moment. That low downforce package with the smaller rear wing not seemingly having much of an effect at the moment. He's flashing the lights, so you must know that he's on camera. Hello, John. Fan favourite. Great seeing John wandering back once again. Dominic Kubinski trying to go to the end on the mediums. Not many laps to go here. The lights glaring down the circuit. We've got the hazard lights on, actually. Perhaps that's Dominic's way of saying hello. I know several of the drivers have the live stream on in the background, so hello to all of them. Leave a like if you're on a straight, I'd say. And subscribe if you're not already, if you're on a straight. Just that way you don't crash. The wind speed has dropped a bit, but it is still a tailwind for turn 1, headwind for the back straight. 4.8 meters a second as it stands. John wandering about to be lapped by our Group 3 category leader. There you see one of our marshals up on the timing tower. As John wandering gets out of the way. Flashes the lights once again on camera. Interesting, it is a Ford GT 1.2 as things stand. That seems to have been a really good car choice for this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Houdini's running out of tyres. It's too late to make a pit stop. I think he can do, but he just end up losing a lot of time and not have enough time to make it up again. So he's going to try and brave it out on these tyres, but the rear right in particular is looking very dodgy. He's going to have to be very careful with his accelerator inputs going out of left-hand corners in particular, because that's when you're leaning on the right. Mauro has managed to get their Acura NSX into 3rd place once again, holding on with the mediums at the moment. They should be okay, but it's going to be tricky to keep that car balance in check as the mediums keep wearing. Taters isn't far behind, and they are on fresher softs. 5.9 seconds is the gap. And the Genesis charging round Speedway turn 2. Well, that was turn 1 rather. This would be Speedway turn 2 as they come off the banking. And it's purple sector time there by Taters. So on track for a new personal, or overall best rather. Flames being spat out by that V6 engine through the exhausts on the downshift. Taters does actually have the fastest lap of the race overall. It's a 1:44.898. Very impressive pace indeed. GTO currently in 5th, seem to have took on a little bit of grass through the Le Mans chicane there. They're by themselves at this stage. Going to be struggling a little bit towards the end. Sparks being thrown up again, really pronounced as we lose daylight here at the Daytona International Speedway. Round 1 of the NES North America Tour, brought to you unofficially by Ryanair Overseas. Not long to go now. Heavy braking once again. You can see the brake discs glowing red, even well after the corner on that Lexus. As, oh, I think that was John wandering exiting the pits just behind. So John on a set of mediums for the end of this. It would be a bit of a short stint to be running mediums, I'd say. I'd have imagined he could have gone on to softs unless he hadn't had them bought or something. We've seen stranger things before in the series. Dominic Kubinski with a 10-second gap over Houdini, who has got a completely flat rear right tyre at this stage. Just trying their best to hold on. 7.8 seconds the gap to Mauro. I suppose the benefit for Houdini here is that Mauro is not only on mediums but also struggling with the tyres themselves. So they're finding it difficult to catch up. But I think if we look in the background, yep, there's Taters closing in with 2 laps to go now. If you're enjoying the race, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season. Through turn 1, nicely done again by Taters. I'm going to check in on the Group 4 category. Joe of the Fire has managed to once again do what Joe of the Fire does, making their way through the Le Mans chicane. Nicely done. He should be able to get to the end of the race relatively okay. Tyre wear rate very fast for these front wheel drive Group 4 cars. Lugi is 8.7 seconds back at this stage. And I'm going to do a quick comparison. At 53.294 was the best lap for Joe of the Fire. 53.330 was the fastest lap for Lugi. So, in terms of lap times, they are fairly close. But I think Joe, because of that gap, is going to be pretty much a shoo-in for the race win here in Group 4. But we'll have to see. Still got to get it to the end. Zephanius, meanwhile, being caught up by Poctavian. The one-stop strategy starting to come back to bite Zephanius. Poctavian closing in. They did the extra stop, remember. Although their own racing soft tyres looking very worn, these two could be very close together throughout this final stage of the race. Poctavian does manage to get the overtake. Will Zephanius be able to retaliate? I think they've just got to stay close enough to be in slipstream range. Someone has span at turn 1. Who is that? I think it's Houdini. Houdini has span, and there is Mauro in the background. We're going to quickly see what happened. I think it was that rear tyre that gave way. It looked very unstable through that section, and indeed hitting the inside wall. And the battle continues. The last lap of the race. Houdini trying their best to hold on. The Acura of Mauro trying to find a way past. Taters is closing in on this as well. It could be a 3-car scrap for second place. I think Dominic has pretty much got first place won. But look at this side by side. But this is the section of the circuit that the Ford GT is so good at. Neither of these cars will have slipstream. The third place car will. Coming up to the Le Mans chicane for the final time of asking. Dominic Kubinski is already making their way through Speedway Turn 3. Congratulations to them in advance. Taters closing in. Houdini sliding about. Mauro trying to capitalise. 3 cars all together on circuit. Here is Dominic Kubinski taking the win for round 1 of the NES North America Tour. But the battle is for second, for third, and for 4th place. Houdini, are they going to hold on to it? Mauro in the slipstream. It's going to be close. I think they're going to hold position. It is Houdini that finishes second place. Mauro holds on to third. Taters has to settle for 4th. One more lap. And it would have been a completely different order, but they ran out of laps in the end. Unbelievable scenes here at the Daytona International Speedway. GTO will take 5th place in the end. Myth still making their way around the circuit will take 6th. I think John Wondering will be the next car to cross the line. They will take 5th place in the Group 4 category. Valuable points for this season. Relatively short championship, 5 rounds of course. John Wondering with that low drag, smaller rear wing, taking 5th place here. Myth comes across the line, will take 6th in the Group 3 category. And it is going to be Joe of the Fire taking the win in the Group 4 category. Congratulations to Joe. Lugi will have to settle for 2nd place in the end. And Poctavian managing to gap Zephonius in the end despite the tyres being significantly worn. Weaving about, the car won't step out of him once he's on the throttle. Uses the handbrake a bit, goes sliding across the infield, hits the invisible wall, nearly takes out someone's pit crew. And Zephonius crosses the line, will be 4th place in category. But there is your race winner in the Group 3 category, Dominik Kubinski. A fantastic performance there by another one of the fan favourites. Here are your results then. It was Taters that had the fastest lap, but 4th place in the end for them. Race winner Dominik Kubinski. Congratulations to him. Houdini taking 2nd place, making it a Ford 1-2. Despite the tyre wear towards the end, Houdini doing a great job holding on to that. Maro has to take 3rd place in the end in the Acura NSX. Taters 4th place off of the podium, but will get, I believe, an extra point for that fastest lap, provided it passes the track limit inspection. GTO settles for 5th in the end, and Myth 6th. Joe with the Fire, our winner in the Group 4 category, followed by Lugi and Poctavian completing that podium. Zephonius in 4th, John Wandering in 5th, and the DNF, of course, of Mihai, unfortunately. What a race that was. We hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly did. It took a while to get going, but that was very much entertaining. We hope you've enjoyed, and be sure to stay tuned for the race. The next one is going to be in January. Let me check the dates on that actually, because we're now going on to our holiday break. Yes, the next race is going to be on January 7th. Round 2 taking place at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in California. So the complete opposite side of the United States. And a very different circuit. Of course, a lot more elevation change to look out for. Shorter straights as well. So be sure to subscribe with your notifications on and such, so you're notified when we go racing next. Of course, if you have enjoyed, once again, I've said it many a time, leave a like. Thanks so much for all the activity that's been going off in the chat as well. It's been fantastic having you all along. Yeah, if you also missed the preview event and want to see some more racing, that's also up on the live section of the channel in the archives of the live tab, so be sure to check that out. Thanks again to our sponsor for round 1, unofficially Ryanair Overseas and Lynx. And I think that pretty much covers everything. So from all of us here at the Nukeshot Endurance Series and Nukeshot Media, I've been Zokio, and see you in January, folks. Hope you've enjoyed, and see you then.